How'd you think? There we go.
Alright, welcome. If you're new to the channel, my name's Elliott and you're watching Rickety Ski Reviews. Today we're going to be talking about the Atomic Redster Q9.8. I am actually reviewing these today on my birthday. I was very excited to review these. I've actually been kind of saving them for a bluebird groomer day, whereas everything's nice and firm. You know, when we get powder days, I want to be able to enjoy a nice powder ski, or even if there's a little bit of powder, I want to do the all mountain ski. But today was kind of the perfect blend of like, I've got a little extra time to myself. I'm gonna really take these on the groomer and enjoy them.
Here's this fresh corduroy. These should be good here.
Well, I didn't really like these skis, but let's talk about it. So first off, for these skis, these are 84 millimeters width underfoot. They are definitely more of a carving base ski. They have these plates of Titanal that are floating in the laminate. They're meant to create extra dampness, and they definitely do a pretty good job of that. Not a lot of chatter, you feel. And in hand, these skis are definitely heavy, so I think they're doing their job there. You can see in your hands, a healthy amount of camber, no real splay or rocker in the tips and tails, just a little bit in the tips to kind of keep them out of trouble, but nothing major there. These are a true carving ski. They're 84 width underfoot, which kind of brings them into this like all mountain carving kind of blend, but we'll just call them kind of a carving ski for today. Now real quick, let's talk specs and let's talk build. This ski uses a wood blend of poplar and ash. For the sidewall, instead they use what they call their ultra wall. You can kind of see it in yellow there. So instead of a sidewall, they actually take the top sheet and fold it down, which is kind of interesting. It's supposed to help with handling and durability. I don't know that I really felt it with handling, but sure, that's what Atomic says. Now, I skied these in a 181 centimeter length. That means that their turning radius is a 15.2 meter turning radius. And these skis come with the bindings built in. Usually when you order them, they come with the bindings. And I think this is like a specialty binding that kind of goes into that metal, at least from what I was reading online. Bringing their weight per ski with the bindings to 3,283 grams. These are heavy skis, there's no getting around it. They have an extremely short turning radius with that 15.2, and you definitely feel it. If you're looking for a ski to compare it to, I would actually say that despite looks, these are very similar to the Black Crow's Mirror's Core, just kind of that like really quick, snappy, hard, short radius turn. Now that we've covered the build and the specs, let's talk about how this ski felt on snow. Now, like I said before, this should be my perfect ski. I like most Atomic skis. I love carving. This is gonna be like the cat's meow for me. Well, not really. These skis are really interesting because I have a racing background. I skied in high school, college, USSA, USCSA. I'm a certified race referee. I worked for Ski Racing Magazine. I was in the BMA junior program and was like the worst kid in it. So I'm not like the perfect skier. I'm not a D1 skier. I'm not a US ski team skier, but I know how to carve. Okay, I know how to ski. I've owned a lot of race skis. These skis feel like a weird impersonation of a slalom ski. It's like somebody who watched a slalom skier and tried to make that happen with just the ski's build without fully understanding what makes a good slalom ski feel good. I was really shocked just right off the bat at like how the ski really only wanted that short radius turn, how it really did not have a lot of flexibility. So that was kind of my first impression, just like it really wasn't flexible in its turn shape, and it seems to want to make that turn for you rather than letting you build up pressure and savor the turn the whole way through. I don't think this is for nobody, but it's again kind of that Mirror's core audience where it has to be like somebody who's going on blue squares or green circles and really wants quick short radius turns. I can see somebody on the East Coast liking this. If you're on a smaller mountain and you really want to get the most out of each run, you might be able to have a lot of fun with this. I know if I was skiing back home at Bretton Woods or one of those smaller mountains like the Dartmouth Skiway, this could be a lot of fun because you've only got limited elevation to work with, so something quick and snappy like this probably makes a lot of sense. But I'm going to be reviewing these from the West Coast, from Idaho, with big open mountains. Now that we've talked first impressions, let's talk about the good, and then we'll talk about the bad. True to form, true to build, true to advertising even, these skis are very stable. They build a strong platform under your foot. They are very steady. They're not chattery at all. They really like to be on the ground, so if you're kind of cutting through, they will cut through the snow for you. Similar also to the Elon Ripstick. They have kind of this more square tip, which allows for really quick turn initiation. It's going to allow you to start your turn very easily. It does not take a lot of pressure to get a turn started, which I was kind of surprised because when you lift them, they're heavy. So back to my race days, I think of these old Atomic GS skis, and I think, okay, it's gonna take a lot of pressure to turn. Quite the opposite, in fact. These skis turn on a dime. They take very little pressure, they're very responsive, they're very quick turns. So if you're somebody who likes that kind of thing where you want a turn on demand, you want the ski to almost turn on its own, hey, you may really like these skis. You may really enjoy a ski that turns itself. Or if you're somebody who's having a hard time with your turn initiation, you may be thrilled by this because it's gonna get you into position and it's gonna start that turn for you. So there's definitely stuff to like here. Or if you're somebody who doesn't want to have to overwork just to get your turn started, a head core is kind of like that. I love the head cores, but if you really hate that feeling of having to wait and be patient for your turn, this might be a good ski for you. It's not needing a lot of speed to get on edge, and I think for a certain population of people, this ski makes a lot of sense. What else is good? It's a good looking ski. I like that the binding is kind of built into the ski. I think when you're carving, it holds a stable platform. I never felt like it was an unstable platform like the Armada ARV. It also, when I took it in the powder, I will say to its credit, these square tips gave it a little bit more flotation than I was expecting. Now, I didn't take it in deep powder or anything like that, but I was a little bit surprised by their diversity off trail. It wasn't great, but it was manageable. And I think for some people, when you just need to get through bad conditions, it's nice to have a ski that's manageable. Also, when I got into soft snow, this kind of weight blasted through things, so something to consider if you're looking at this. I would say it is very similar to the Mirror's core. Vocal Deacon ring a bell when you're kind of looking at this sort of ski. So, all right, finally, we talked about the good, let's talk about the bad, and I have a lot to say here. I don't like this style of ski. I don't like having a ski that wants to turn for me. And I think that it misses the point of like what a good race ski is. It carries that Redster name, which is the same as their World Cup skis. And honestly, it misses the mark on understanding. This feels like somebody over-engineered a ski to make anyone feel like they're making a good turn without understanding the nuance of what makes a good slalom ski good or a good GS ski good. I'm skiing these in a 181, and I could not believe that that was the accurate length because they were so unstable. At speeds, they are extraordinarily chattery. When I got them into any kind of open radius turn, they refused. They do not like big radius turns, and I get that. It's a 15.2. I knew what I was working with, but I underestimated how little turn flexibility these were gonna have. Sometimes when a ski has a turn radius, you can kind of flex it on either side. This is hard locked into that 15.2, and if you so much as even sneeze, this ski will start the turn. I don't like that. I want to build a little bit of pressure, that way I can have a clean arc. This ski is not about that. If you even whisper the word carve, these skis will start. For someone like me who preloads into each turn, it will start turns that I didn't want it to. So I do find that really frustrating. You know, for how heavy and damp they are, they still chatter a lot in the high speeds, if that makes any sense. Like, It's a difference between an up and down chatter and almost like a side to side chatter. They're wanting to turn so desperately with that short radius that they become unsafe at high speeds. Another little nitpick, it's small, but I'm gonna tell you guys all about these skis because if you own them, you're gonna get annoyed by this every time. When you go to set the DINs, you have to have the boot in the ski in order to adjust the DINs. Maybe that doesn't matter to you, but to me, I find that annoying because this heel brake covers the DIN number. It's such an easy thing to fix. But no, you know, I have no issue with atomic bindings, but in the past they've done this where they hard lock their bindings to the ski, and I don't like that. I mean, I like look bindings, and atomic's fine now, but if you really hate atomic bindings, you're kind of locked into this, and you may find that annoying. I didn't really notice anything with the sidewall. It talks about that, but hard to notice much, honestly. The tips are okay. They've got this metal tip guard. To me, it's just trying to mimic that World Cup ski because slalom skis have the rubber tops to keep them from breaking on the tips. You know, if you're skiing on these, I don't know why you need that. But again, it's trying to kind of keep in that vein of World Cup ski. I don't know, I just really didn't have fun on these. You have to just make really quick turns, and when I'm building up pressure on a ski like this, I want to be able to stretch that turn radius out, and it's so hard locked that I would really only have fun on these if I was stuck on a really flat hill. I mean, I won't say that these are like the Armada ARVs where like they just feel poorly built or unstable, but I will say it really misses the mark if it's trying to emulate a race ski. And if it's trying to be an all-mountain ski, it feels even harder. I've always wondered, you know, when you watch World Cup skiers ski after they're retired, you never see them on these kind of skis, and it would make sense, right? You're like, well, why wouldn't you want just, you know, your normal World Cup race ski, but with less radius restrictions? Wouldn't that be great? Because I watched Ted Liggety. Ted Liggety skis on the Head Core 93 after racing on the heads, and then he uses his same race skis when he wants to do those big demonstrations. Same for Lindsey Vonn. You see her on the baby blue head race skis. Why isn't she on the cheater ski? And now I kind of know. These are not very fun. Like, they are really only good for somebody who wants the ski to turn for them, who doesn't want to worry about turn initiation, and just wants to like get off the ground quickly. And I don't like that feeling. I want to flex and have the ski load like a Head Core 93 or like an actual race ski. So if you're coming off of racing and you're thinking this might be a good fit, I would at least try these. They are a very, very short radius. They're very quick turns. They almost want to turn for you. There's not a lot of work involved. There's not a lot of mastery involved. If you're somebody who doesn't want to work so hard for your turns, I'm not judging you. I totally get it. I've heard a lot of people really love the Mirror's Core, so there's definitely an audience for this. But for me, as somebody who likes to get better at carving, who wants to savor the turn, who wants to have a good turn, who wants to like feel the ski load up, this ski is kind of like a weird shortcut ski where it just skips all of that and gets the ski loaded for you. Is it a bad turn? No, not at all. It's just not a fully loaded turn, so it comes out a little half-baked for me. And I like that feeling of feeling the ski flex under my feet and catch. When you build pressure and it catches, that feels good to me. Now, if you're somebody who's intermediate and you want to like get that feeling and you want to be able to emulate it later, sure. Like, definitely try these out or, you know, take them for a spin. But it isn't a ski I would want to own. And I've heard this argument like, well, if somebody's a ski instructor or they're skiing with their kids, it's probably a good ski. Ski instructors, absolutely. I think that makes a lot of sense. And this would be a really easy ski to demonstrate turns on. For skiing with kids, I actually disagree. I don't know, I don't like that kind of skiing with kids. I ski on my Atomic Maverick 88 Ti's, which are only 5 millimeters width underfoot wider. And I have way more fun. I can take the kids in the trees. I can show them kind of easy gradual turns. I don't need to make those really quick turns. And I find that I wouldn't really enjoy this in that setting. If you're a parent, maybe that differs for you. But I don't know, all mountain skis have gotten so good at carving and have come such a long way. This feels like a little bit of a dinosaur when you compare it to those. So just my opinion, I would at least look at some of the all mountain offerings. Like I said, an Atomic Maverick 88 Ti, I love a lot more than this. If you want a ski that a turn initiates easily in an all mountain ski, Fisher Ranger 90 is nice. This isn't bad, and if you're super carving focused, you might find this to be a fun toy, but there's a lot that I don't like about this ski. And when you look at price and value, these skis are 5 cents shy of $1,100. Granted, that comes with bindings, but that is not cheap, and that's certainly not a good value in my mind. This is a very niche kind of toy for people, and I don't think that that's a very good price or value. Not something I would spend on this ski. So I'm gonna give this a rating, and this is a tough one. I do think that there's a subset of people that would really love the ski, but if you do, try the Mirror's Core. I actually think the Mirror's Core does this a lot better without sacrificing a lot of the turn initiation. This ski is so focused on getting the ski to carve for you that it misses the point on like, well, there's some mastery and enjoyment on getting a ski up on edge. It really feels like it kind of jumps the shark when it comes to carving and turn initiation, all these things that I really savor and enjoy. It just wants to do it for you automatically. And if you preload your skis, it doesn't feel good because it'll just do it either way. Again, when I was going fast, it really wanted to just turn on me. I found that I really didn't enjoy the ski. I can see for some people this being like a 6 or a 7, but for me personally, as somebody who went out, paid my own money to demo these skis, paid out of pocket, I'm not paid, sponsored by anyone, just me in my backyard here, I gotta say this is a 5.5 out of 10. It's not an unstable platform, it has good carving, but for a ski that is only for carving, that's it, that's its primary focus. It can kind of go a little bit all over the place, but this is a carving ski. There's no getting around that. I really didn't enjoy the carving. It could not have any flexibility in its turn radius. It would not allow me to open up. It would not allow me to speed up without getting side to side speed wobble. It wouldn't allow me to build up my own pressure on my own turns. I found this to just be an extremely frustrating ski. So for me, it's a 5.5 out of 10. Maybe I'll feel differently about it later, but I don't know what to tell you. I really was frustrated by these skis. They're so busy worrying about, well, I want the person to carve and I want them to carve right now, that they miss out on what makes carving fun, and that's mastery of the sport. This is like having a ski that just does it for you. It's really on autopilot, and I found that to be frustrating. If you are somebody that likes that kind of ski, this is a great fit, but just think twice about it before just buying it sight unseen. I will, of course, put a link below if you're dead set on buying them and you found this review helpful. You can support the channel that way. I think the ski is frustrating and it's not a ski I would want to own. Maybe you'll feel differently. If you skied on the ski, please leave a comment down below. But that's just my honest opinion. The ski really misses the point of what makes a carving ski fun. And if you really want to feel a good carving ski, there are plenty of slalom skis out there that you can get at a ski swap for like 150 bucks. I would rather be on those than these. So anyway, like I said, these reviews don't always make me popular, but thank you so much for watching my videos, allowing me to demo these things, because ski companies don't tend to like these kind of reviews, but to me, it's more important to be honest than to be popular. So, if you like this kind of content, please consider liking and subscribing. That's a free way to support the channel. Like I said before, there's memberships and things you can click down below. But more than anything, just thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. And, you know, thanks for being here for my birthday. I just turned 34. I don't feel any different than I did. I have had a blast this year skiing and making this kind of content. So, you know, thanks everyone for being so supportive, encouraging me to keep doing this fun hobby of mine. It's been a really fun year. Thanks so much, everyone. I'll see you guys later. See ya.